Welcome to Cosplay Melee, the ultimate costume competition. Each week, 4 world-class cosplayers will collide in an epic showdown of creativity, eye-popping costumes, and one-of-a-kind characters.
That is insane.
And the winner will go home with $10,000. Get ready, because it's time to suit up. This is Cosplay Melee.
My name's Josh. I'm from Bossier City, Louisiana. I'm 24. I got into cosplay when I first went to a game release. I saw a guy dressed in a suit of armor that he had made himself. I was like, I gotta do that. I have to do that. I work about 18 hours a day on cosplay. I am the underdog. I don't have too many followers on Facebook for my cosplay page. I am here to prove that I can be one of the best cosplayers in the world.
I'm Becca, I'm from New York City, and I'm a full-time costume designer. I start off pretty shy and soft-spoken, but in cosplay, I get to embrace the more powerful side of myself. I love to create armored, badass warrior women. I am here to prove I am super fierce, and losing is not an option. To my other competitors, I say, good luck.
I'm Steven. I'm 35. I live in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm a full-time prop maker. I'm known in the cosplay world for building extremely detailed costumes. My family is awesome. I have a wife and 2 beautiful little girls. My girls love my cosplay and prop making. At Take Your Parent to School Day, I am pretty much the king of the class. I'm here to prove to myself that this is where I belong.
My name's Kate. I'm 28 years old. I'm from Seal Beach, California, and I work at a small boutique. As a teenager, I was a little lost. And then I started making cosplay, and I was like, oh my god, this is where my creative outlet can be. So I kind of channeled all of that energy, but now it really took it to another level. I am known for down-to-the-wire cosplay. That means that you have to finish it in a week. So I'm here to win, and I can win.
Cosplayers, gather around.
Hey.
Wow.
Hey.
Guys, welcome to Cosplay Melee. You 4 ingenious cosplayers are duking it out for $10,000.
That's a lot.
Now, for your theme, you are all about to enter the realm of video games.
Yes.
But not just any type of video games. From Doom to Halo to Overwatch and Titanfall, there's a genre of video games set in a high-tech, dystopian future embroiled in a war for humanity and in need of a hero.
Oh, I'm a huge video game guy. I'm highly obsessed with anything that involves a very vast amount of action and loud noises.
We want you to create a character inspired by your favorite high-tech, futuristic video game. For round 1, you'll need to make a weapon. But this weapon isn't any old sidearm. It must be a signature weapon fully integrated into the exoskeleton of your character. After round 1, the judges and I will pick one of you to gain an advantage in the fight for the future. But unfortunately, for one cosplayer, it will be game over, and you'll be sent home from Cosplay Melee.
Ooh.
You only have 8 hours to complete your task. And your time starts now! Go!
My favorite video game is Overwatch, which is kind of an RPG shooter game. I am creating my character named Embria, this dystopian badass. She's a sassy little pyromaniac. Embria's weapon is a flamethrower that is attached to a bracer, and then there's tubing that goes to this big oxygen tank on her back, and then she can just go around and lay waste with her cool bracer.
When I think of futuristic RPG video games, I think of games like Destiny and Mass Effect. I personally have chosen to create a guardian from the game Destiny. His name is Saris Crusor. He is actually a necromancer. His ability is to actually revive all the teammates around him. So what I'm building is a plasma cannon. The shoulder piece will have a plasma chamber built into the back of it, and it will actually have hoses that are feeding down in through the gauntlet below. This signature weapon is ambitious, but I really hope to bring all the elements together and really pull out something nice.
I love space and love gaming, so I immediately start thinking of Star Trek Online because Star Trek is one of my favorite franchises, and I love it so much that I named my cat after my favorite character from the show. Her name is 7 of 9. My character's name is 1, and the weapon I'm creating is called the Genesis. Genesis funnels all of the knowledge in the universe straight into this orb, and it's funneled into 1's vertebrae.
My favorite game is Fallout. I just can't seem to stay away from it. I love it. My character's name is Siege, and he is a vigilante. My signature weapon is called the Annihilator 14. It is an entire arm that is comprised of 3 weapons. It has a submachine gun, a plasma thrower. This weapon then links with a tubing system up to my bicep, which has a small 14-way cluster missile bay, giving him an insane range of fighting techniques. Now I'm going to start working on the shape that I want. I'm simply applying the saran wrap, layering it in duct tape, drawing my pattern out, and cutting it out onto foam. EVA foam is the best type of material to use because it is very thick. It gives you the half-inch thick steel look that you're looking for. Oh yeah, that looks tight. These little pieces that I've just created are actually the 5-finger pieces. And these are going to sit as so. I'm taking these little BBs, and they will sit like so and make for a really nice detailed ribbon. When they're painted, we'll have a nice looking weapon on our hands.
Step 1 is to make my canister, and I decide that I'm going to use the natural curvature of these rolls of foam. Basically, I just take a roll of foam, cut it, and then put a bottom on it. I don't measure, I just cut until it fits. This is the Kate technique. It is really fun and unorganized. That goes on this arm, and then the flame will actually come out of her arm if she wants to be armed. Get it armed.
The overall shape of my weapon is going to resemble a halo. So she's almost seen like a god, and the halo reflects that.
I didn't know you were still back here for a while. I'm like
sitting on the floor. I'm sitting on the floor because I actually work on the floor at home, and working at a table is harder for me than working on the floor. I'm building the bird array right now. It's already looking awesome.
I'm actually working on the box right now that'll be powering the gun. I was using the Dremel to bevel out the inside of the pipe, and then that gives you perfect circles, and then you can just go back in and take out the additional and put a piece of foam behind it to give it additional detail. I'm pretty much using the EVA foam for the shoulder and the gauntlet. The gauntlet itself will have bones coming off of it. The bones that I'm making are actually hand sculpted, molded, and then resin cast, so I can make a whole bunch of them, and I don't have to sit there and sculpt every one by hand. That'd be really cool when it's all done.
Right now, I'm attaching the side panels to the missile silo that goes on his shoulder. My favorite part of this build is all 14 individual little missiles in this pack that I have on my bicep. I had to cut each individual little rod out and circulate it onto the belt sander to get this rounded effect for each of these missiles. This gauntlet is actually going to have a 45 ACP submachine gun with a drum mag on it. I'm actually going to build the drum mag with the rounds revealed. The Dremel itself is everything to me. I use the Dremel in ways that people wouldn't even think to use for detail on my armor. I don't think I could see myself creating cosplay without it.
I decided to add runes. It's like magical writing. It's like a protection for her. Painting is my favorite part of the build. I'm painting the orb, a mix of greens and blues to represent energy.
1 hour left and I'm feeling pretty good. And now I'm starting to add all the details. You heat up some tin foil and press it on there, and it'll emboss the foam to make it look like leather. So once you dry brush back over it, just the highlights will stick out. It definitely won't look like foam at that point in time. Painting is what gives that prop life. I'm going to use the airbrush and bring out a lot of the greens that are going to be signature to his character in the game.
For my bracer, I'm using carbon fiber wrap. Carbon fiber wrap is actually used to cover cars. It is this really unexpected material that gives a very futuristic feel. Pretty cool. Next, I'm detailing my bracer. I'm really excited about this. And really like junking it up, but time is of the essence. Cool. I need to focus on my canister. My gauge piece is too heavy for the hollow dome that I've made for the canister. The top is a little too flimsy to hold up this wire. It just really sucks because it was definitely one of my most favorite parts about it. And I have to remake this piece with 2 hours left. I have this awesome aha moment. I found really thick insulation foam and start carving. And then I grab a piece of warbler, heat it up real quick, and then lay it over it. And I start gluing it on, fingers crossed, that this is gonna hold.
Oh, wow. We got an hour left in the challenge, and I'm rushing to paint all of my pieces. I'm feeling the pressure to an extreme extent. Guys, we got like 20 minutes.
I am not very satisfied at all. The only hope that I have is that they can look past my bad paint job and see the piece as a whole.
It's coming down to it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your hands off everything.
I definitely will be presenting my piece to the judges when the paint is still wet. I don't want to go home, but it could end, you know?
Any of us could go home. It's a very tough competition, and I don't know what the judges are after.
Welcome to the main stage. I'd like to introduce you to two very important people. She is our queen of the nerds, Leanna Bam.
Hey.
And he's created costumes for video games like God of War and Fallout. He also created the light suits for Tron Legacy, which was set in a cyber video game. Give it up for costume creator Christian Beckman.
Yeah. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Now, you are tasked to create a weapon that fully integrates into your character's exoskeleton. Josh,
That's what I'm talking
come on
about.
down. Tell us about the video game that inspired your character and about your weapon.
I'm a huge fan of the Fallout universe. My character's name is Siege. He himself is a synth. He actually has a combi sub and plasma thrower on his arm that's linked into a A14. The A stands for Annihilator, and the 14 is because I have 14 integrated high explosive missiles that can deter large groups of targets. The plasma gun is meant for burrowing through armor, and the 45 ACP high caliber explosive rounds for my submachine gun are meant for burrowing through the skin. So essentially, there's no escape.
Christian, what do you think?
I'm gonna start with the gauntlet. I love how it's just got a lot of heavy detail to it. You got great aging on there. It looks awesome. I like how you've incorporated the glove with the same mechanical look. It feels right. But I'm wondering if the hose could have a little more detail to it.
Absolutely.
Because it just feels plain next to all the other stuff that you have going on there.
All right, Leanna, your thoughts?
I am very impressed on how many elements you were able to incorporate in such a short amount of time. It's very wastelandy. It fits perfect in the Fallout world. It literally looks like you found pieces, put them on your arm. It all goes together, even down to you have knuckle armor.
Yes.
Because your knuckles always need to be protected
Absolutely.
in the Fallout world.
Yes.
Josh, thank you so much for your creativity and your artistry. You can
Thank
step
you
back
all.
up
Thank
to
you
the
all so
runway.
much.
All right, sweet Becca, come on down. Tell us about your character and your exoskeleton.
My character is called One. She comes from the Star Trek Online universe. She has the ability to create life and also destroy it, and that's where this device comes into play. The Genesis has the ability to pull energy in and knowledge into a central orb. It eventually makes its way down through a mechanical spinal column that's fused into one's body.
I do like the whole idea of the exoskeleton spine piece. It reads really well from the front and the back. It was a little ambitious with the time frame, I think, because it is large. It just needs punching up on the finish, on the aging, and more detail to it. It's just feeling a little bit plain without those things.
I love your ambition to go big, especially with such a short amount of time. But I see a little bit of unevenness on the spikes. You could have gone with something smaller and it probably would have been a little bit more attainable for you.
I feel like go big or go home, and that's what you did. You should be very proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah. Kate, it's your turn, honey. Come on down.
My character's name is Embria, and she is from the Overwatch universe. In the Omnic Crisis, which is their war, she's kind of like this badass junker chick. She's developed a sweet flamethrower, and she also has this tank that just powers everything.
Leanna, let's start with you. What do you think?
The spikes are a great detail, even on the pressure gauge. I really feel that you went through that junkyard and grabbed what you needed and you slapped it on to protect yourself. The detailing on the gauntlet is really great. It looks like you put a lot of time into that.
Yeah.
But on the tank, it kind of looks like it got just kind of one coat of paint. So if you do go through, I hope to see detailing throughout the whole piece.
Christian, what do you think of Kate's piece?
You know what? There's a lot going on here. I like the flame idea, those 3 tubes. It works very well. I'm just wondering how this is going to integrate into an actual exoskeleton type costume, because I feel like it's all a wearable piece. It's got to look like it's part of your body.
I think you did a great job with the gauntlet. I do agree with Christian that it could be strapped on more. I think you did an amazing job. Thank you. You may return to the runway.
Thank you.
And finally, Steven, come down and talk to us.
So my character's name is Ceres Crusoe, and he is living in the world of destiny. My particular guardian is a warlock, so they can wield guns, but they also have a lot of magic going on as well. He has a blaster. It's designed out of the hive enemies. I can revive you, or I can destroy you.
Wow. LV, what do you think?
This is amazing. The detail on that, you're like a magical gun-wielding, good, bad guy. We have a lot of power in that little gauntlet. Can I see the back again as well? I love that little battery pack. How is this kind of integrated into your exoskeleton?
These are actually all bone. It's going to lock into the chest piece.
I mean, for the time that you had and the amount of detailing, distressing, and paint, and all of the attention to details is very impressive. So great job.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Christian, what do you see here?
I like how it's more organic and yet fitting in with the mechanical, biomechanical aspects of it. It's looking nice. Looking at the armband and the shoulder itself, well, it's all metal, and it probably needs to fit in a little bit more of that sculptural, organic detail that you have on the top of the gauntlet.
That's not real leather on those straps, right?
No, that's all foam.
All foam and fabricated to look like leather.
Yeah.
Kudos to you, sir. Thank you, Steven. You can go back to the runway. Yes. Camaraderie. Super talented cosplayers. We took everything into account from your origin story to the craftsmanship of your weapon and how it integrates into your exoskeleton. And after careful deliberation, we have decided on a winner. And that winner is... Josh.
You're kidding.
No. Congratulations, Josh. You want a hug?
Yes,
Josh.
I do. Yes.
Josh, come get a hug. I mean, congratulations.
Thank you all so much. I'm absolutely ecstatic. I can't believe I actually won this challenge. That gives me a lot of confidence and a lot more drive to go forth in this.
Only 3 of you can move forward to create your full costume and vie for the grand prize of $10,000. That means, unfortunately, 1 of you is going home. The cosplayer who is eliminated is... The cosplayer who is eliminated is... Kate. We loved what you created, but the video game you chose was Overwatch, and we just didn't feel the technology that you created fit into that world exactly. And we also didn't see where there was an exoskeleton that fit into your body, and that was part of the challenge.
It's very hard for me to feel bad at this point because I had a good time. I loved that I could make anything I wanted to, and I could just go with it. I love creating.
Cosplayers, congratulations! You made it to the main event. Now let's just say goodbye to our judges, Leanna Vamp and Christian Beckman.
Good luck. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Cosplayers, you now have 2 full days to complete your costumes. But before you head back to the workroom, we've got a little something to help you achieve that futuristic, high-tech look.
Yes, I knew it.
Is
LEDs,
All
man.
the flashy bits.
It's a bunch of stuff.
Twinkling next to me are 3 different bundles of lights. We've got LEDs, some glow-in-the-dark paint, even holiday lights. Now, Josh, since you won the first round, you get first choice of which bundle of lights you want to use.
All right, let's
Which
see.
one speaks to you?
The one that's literally speaking
Literally
to me.
speaking,
I hear
all
a
right.
ton of beeps and
All right,
boops and
turn around and
beeps.
take it up there.
This is a lot of gear. I choose the one in the middle because it has a lot of greens and a lot of blues. And those are the colors that I want to incorporate into my suit.
All right, Becca and Steven, for the remaining 2 bundles, you'll need to decide between yourselves. Both of you step up and make your selection.
Which one would you like?
Which one would you like?
Oh, no, you first.
Oh, you guys are all so sweet.
I think these would work better for me.
Okay.
You okay with that one, Steven?
I'll make it work.
That's a gentleman.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, does everyone like the lights that they picked?
Absolutely.
Good, because in 2 days, not only will we be seeing your full costumes for the first time, we're going to turn the house lights down. We want to see just how well you integrate the lights you selected into your costume. Wow us, because we want to see you glow. All right, everybody, good luck. Shine bright like diamonds.
Since I've won the first challenge, I'm one step closer to winning $10,000. 300 different effects. I'm going to be here for a year. And with all of these new LEDs that I've just acquired, my character Siege is most definitely going to have lights in almost every piece, from the shoulders to the gauntlets to the helmet, chest, thighs, and boots. That's the color I'm looking for. I'm going to use teal for the majority of my suit because my suit is based off of a character named Liberty Prime in the game Fallout. And Liberty Prime has teal blue light. If everything falls into place, this win is as easy as mine.
My character 1 is a very ethereal, ancient being. I want to use the LEDs that I have tastefully. I'm not going to make her look like a rave show. For her costume, she has this halo and a floating visor. Her breastplate has runic pieces on it. I'm making the armor out of Warbla, and the judges suggested to me that I add more details. This is my opportunity to redeem myself. I'm making a boob cup. This will eventually go on my breastplate. Hey, just be glad you guys don't have to make boob cups.
For my character, Saris Crusaor will be covered in futuristic body armor. I'm going to have a lot of LEDs located directly in the middle of the chest, as well as right underneath the mask that are going to be uplighting the entire thing. Right now, I'm going to be resin casting. One of the most crucial parts of my costume will actually be the mask. Resin is a two-part liquid. When chemically combined, it creates into a hard plastic. On average, it takes about 10 minutes for the resin to set up. My character will have a bone mask and LED glowing eyes. I'm just cutting out the eye sockets, clean up all the edges, and break this middle part open. Smoking! I feel that this does set me apart because I don't see anyone else really using resin or mold, and I hope the judges really pick up on that.
I'm starting on my helmet build. I want to make this the most menacing looking helmet I can. Luckily, I have these sound reactive lights here. As I talk into them, they have these cool little bars that go up. I'm incorporating a small voice module, and my lights work perfectly. This really grabbed the judge's attention. As a child, my mom was extremely supportive of my nature of loving sci-fi. My mom is everything to me. She's my sword and shield. At one point, it was just me, my sister, and my mom. She didn't have anyone else, but she made sure that we were always fed and clothed and happy. If I win this competition, I devote everything to my mom. I just want to make her proud.
Hello, everybody.
Hey,
Hi, how's
cool.
it going, Steven?
It's going good. We're going to add in a whole bunch of detail. I got my mask cast up.
I think the mask to me is standing out so much.
A lot of this is all going to be lit. It's going to bring out all the detail that's in that mask.
In this box of LEDs, there's a lot of amazing stuff. On Tron, we had to custom make all our inverters, all our power systems. You know, I think this challenge is really about head-to-toe lights. That's the whole point. But it's going to take clean lighting too.
Christian Beckman to me is a true professional. Like, I'm a cosplay guy. I've been doing it a couple of years, but this guy definitely knows his stuff.
Hey, Josh.
Good to see you guys.
Good to see you too.
Absolutely.
How's it going?
It is going fantastic. What if I were to tell you a portion of my helmet lights up? So if I'm to speak to you,
Nice.
that's awesome.
Voice activated. Yeah.
it is most definitely voice activated.
That's
It
really
comes
cool.
in on this side and gives almost like a menacing vibe.
Do you plan on incorporating any more lights?
This is going to glow. This is going to glow with like a very dim teal.
This challenge really is about lights. It's all about just lights everywhere.
Christian's opinion is essentially the word of God for me. So I need to be able to utilize all of these lights to the fullest extent.
Hi, Becca.
Becca.
Hi, guys.
How's it going?
Good.
Tell us, what's your vision for this?
This is my breastplate. This is the only piece that's pretty much constructed.
Okay.
So how are we going to incorporate all this lighting on this?
So far, I planned on sticking lights in the inside so it emulates out. I also have a visor that I'm going to be wearing.
Can I try it on?
Yeah.
It's reading really nice.
Can you see? Because I can't see really
I can
well.
see out of the very
Just right
bottom.
here?
I'm going to have a wig on so it'll sit even
great.
a little higher.
Okay.
Perfect, perfect.
And also that orb. I'm going to be taking that apart and sticking
On the
LEDs in
back.
there so it glows.
That's a nice place for that. You really need to focus on your design and engineering of where they go.
I have to make sure I get those LEDs added in to the different areas of my costume. But I feel really confident that I can take the judges' suggestions and make my costume even better.
I'm using duct tape for making stencils. After I layer it over the saran wrap, I then cut it off and trace it out and cut it out on the bandsaw. Now I have a 3D plate of armor that fits me perfectly.
Right now I'm laying some runes on top of my piece. I want to bring in the runes that are on the back of the weapon. I think always important to have details, and the more details you have, the more interesting something is to look at. I got into Star Trek via my fiance, Dariza. He's the polar opposite of me. He's a super outgoing guy, and I'm not a social butterfly like he is. We just really balance each other out. I love him a lot, so I went to win this competition for him.
All right, guys, that's it for today.
I just spent so much time on the runes. I feel like I'm behind. Oh, I only have one more day left.
All right, guys, this is the last day.
Today, I've got to start incorporating the LEDs. At this point, I'm feeling a little stressed, but it's got to be done. So I'm just cutting out all of that and just taking the circuit board and the LEDs individually, and so I'm going to rewire them so I can run them to where I need to. For the mask, I'm ripping apart a glove that had some coin batteries and LEDs in it, and I'm going to use those to illuminate the eyes. What I'll do is I'll set those in there, and that'll hold that LED right above my line of sight. Cosplay is all about repurposing and problem solving, so you just got to make do with what you have on hand and hope for the best. Not too bad. The LEDs are up above my line of sight, so when it's pitch black in there, this should look pretty cool.
The most important thing for me to do today is to figure out what I'm doing with the LEDs. But first, I need to finish my armor, start painting it, and I need to do those things quickly because I can't add the LEDs until after they're painted. I'm gonna just start painting the details on these pieces now. I chose green to use for highlighting the runes because green is the color for energy, and that is the central part of my costume, the orb of energy. Even though it might take a little bit more time to paint by hand, I will sacrifice other parts of making this piece to allow for the painting. But I'm nervous that I'm not going to finish on time.
I am creating a feeder belt for the heavy cannon, and if this doesn't get the judge's attention, nothing will. This weapon, it has a combi submachine gun with 45 caliber ACP explosive rounds. So when Siege fires the weapon, he bursts through the armor of his enemies and then is able to burrow into them with explosive 45 ACP rounds. They're as good as dead. It's definitely an intense weapon. There's a reason why it's called the Annihilator. Twin-linked heavy cannon is one of my favorite pieces, and now that I've added these cool little LEDs to them, it just makes it look so much better. It's giving off that perfect glow and aura that I'm looking for that really resembles Liberty Prime. Cosplay is what brought me out of my shell. Cosplay is what allowed me to portray my craft, my skill, my love, my passion. I go into such detail and depth as to caliber the correct bullet holes in my suits. This is our last day of building. Every minute counts because when that clock hits 0, that's it. It's over. Super happy with how this turned out.
I'm just trying to go through now and seeing, all right, out of everything that's in here, what can I still use? Like, these are extremely bright. I'm going to put those to a lot of use, especially up around the face and in the chest. That's going to be the main focal point, are these purple LEDs showcasing that mask. The only way that I can think of to really make them work is to jumble a bunch of them together and use a lot of diffuse lighting. I mean, these lights were an absolute pain to fish through there, but I'm really happy with how much glow they're actually putting off. So as I'm putting the final details in this entire thing, honestly, I'm thinking about my family. I would definitely say that my wife and my daughters are my biggest fans. $10,000 to me means taking my family on a well-deserved vacation, because they put up with Daddy being in his shop for many, many hours through lots of months, and it's time that they finally get their just due. Definitely going to be the prettiest Christmas tree on the runway. Hey guys, we have 1 hour. 1 hour left to get everything together.
I'm gonna do a lighting test for the spinal cord. I'm testing out the lights on my spine. Not knowing if it's enough lights to really wow the judges gives me a sense of fear and urgency.
There's 30 minutes left and I still haven't added any of my LEDs. I kept pushing them off and I'm really panicking.
All right guys, we're 20 minutes away from 10 grand, guys. This is the moment of truth. This is what it comes down to. It's all gonna end for 2 of us and begin for 1 of us.
Everything is riding on this last build. $10,000 is on the line.
I'm a perfectionist, but I'm just kind of randomly placing my LEDs on my skirt as quickly as I can.
That's it, guys. Time's up. I am about to become Saris Krusar.
I have to cut so many corners. Having the judges critique my work, it makes me a little nervous.
I feel like a pure engine of destruction. It's all or nothing.
All right, guys, tonight should be a really fun night. We've got our future video game warfare gamers coming out, and then we're going to have a bit of a light show, I hear, so I'm excited.
Me too.
Ooh. Josh, remind us again which video game you created this character for.
My character is from Fallout, the
Yes, it
Fallout
is.
universe. This character is Siege. He was actually rebuilt and utilized by the U.S. Army in the year 2077. The reason why his armor looks this way is after he actually shoots down a vertibird, he will take pieces from it he can use to weld together to his actual armor.
Christian, what do you think?
You've got the character, your personality with it, your whole suit is feeling that character. You got everything there. You
Yes.
got the aging, the detailing down very well. It feels very heavy from head to toe. The helmet, the feel of the metal is incredible. That's really awesome.
Thank you so much.
I love the use of the lighting that you have. It's in strategic areas, the spine, the chest piece. Just, I'm not seeing enough light. Just can't read it, even right in front of me. So that would be my one note, is just to kind of see more lights.
Of course.
But overall, it was a great job. I mean, it executed brilliantly. It's very reminiscent of some of the work I've done on Fallout. So I really appreciate it.
That's all I needed to hear.
Leanna, what do you think?
First of all, fantastic job. And I love your story. I love that your character is taking kind of trophies to build up his armor and make him more powerful and strong. I personally feel like you reached a happy medium where there's still lights, it's not too much, and it fits in that world.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
In all of my Comic-Con travels, I've seen some amazing cosplay of video gamers, and this is really impressive.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, Joshua, you can return to the workroom. We're very proud
Absolutely.
of you. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
I'm feeling as confident as I am nervous. I'm a flurry of emotions, and I'm just going to sit patiently and wait to see what the judges say.
Okay, guys, we have Steven next. After what Josh did, I can't wait to see what Steven's going to do. Can you tell us about your character?
So, my character is a warlock necromancer in the world of Destiny. And basically what that means is he's able to use his ability as light magic to resurrect any enemy he destroys and use those enemies to help him throughout the rest of his mission.
All right, Leanna, what do you think?
The first thing that I noticed was that mask. It has such a natural kind of earthy feel to the costume, and the paint job and the lighting really brings it together. All of the details are insane. I mean, I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
Steven, we asked for lights and we got them. The floodlights in the chest, the lights in the eyes, perfect spot for those. And love the yellow wire wrapping up the hose there. It's done so well. When I see something like your left leg where you don't have armor on the left leg, it's just kind of, it's a big blank spot right there. And that was one thing that my eye went to, because I'm like, wow, everything is so put together.
Thank you.
Steven, I'm just blown away by just even the mask. That to me looks like it alone took 2 days to make.
I appreciate that.
All right, honey, you can head back to the workroom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Great job.
Regardless if I win or lose this competition, I am extremely proud of this entire build.
We still have Becca, and I believe she's going to bring it as well.
I think so.
Let's finish strong here, guys. Nice. Wow. Tell us about one.
One is a character I created from the Star Trek Online universe. She is the first being that's ever created in the entire universe, and because of this, she's also tasked with creating life, and she also is in charge of destroying it if it so happens to threaten other life forms.
Nicely done. Christian?
I'm going to speak to the lights a little bit. You've decided to drape lights on this skirt that you have here.
Mhm.
It's kind of flowing. I think that was a nice play on that.
Thank you.
However, I'm keying in on little things that, like on your armor, there's fit
Mhm.
issues and things sliding around.
Mhm.
And I look at that chest plate and it's just kind of floating off of you. It doesn't fit right, doesn't feel right. So there are some construction issues on here that I would take a look at, some detail work and so forth.
Yeah, I agree.
LB, your thoughts?
So I have to say, one of my favorite things is your visor. I love the crown that you added to it. Can you actually turn to the side? The back piece is really cool because it's an extension of your body. We still see the fusion of the bottom of the spine. I do feel like there's a little bit of a disconnect from that back piece to your armor. But overall, I think you have a great story. The concept and everything was there.
Thanks.
I think initially the scope of your original challenge may have been the thing that might have been your downfall in the rest of the challenge, because you created something so huge.
Yeah,
But there's nothing wrong in taking a big bite. All right, Becca, you can rejoin your fellow competitors.
thank you.
Thank you,
How do you,
Becca.
Becca?
I completely agree with the judges when they said that they thought time got the best of me. I knew going into it my costume had some issues here and there, but I did the best I could in 2 days, and that's all I can do.
We've got Josh, Steven, and Becca. Christian, what did you think of Steven?
Steven did a fantastic job overall. Just his construction was excellent. His lighting blew me away. I do feel that there was an area missing on his leg that just drew my attention. That was the only thing I could say about that, actually.
Yeah, with him getting the last set of lights, I was thinking this could really be a hot mess. But then I felt like he really utilized it well and made it work.
Yeah, I was definitely underwhelmed by the leg, but overall, I was very impressed.
All right, what about Becca?
I was a little disappointed, to be honest, because I felt that her story was, it led to a great costume, and there was a lot of disconnects for me.
Okay, what about you, Christian?
She did a great job on the visor, the whole crown. That was great. But overall, I just felt there's a level of craftsmanship that just didn't do it for me.
And she knew it. She agreed with us.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, let's move on to Josh.
I mean, that armor was perfect.
Perfect.
Right out of the game, right out of a tank. He really embraced his love of Fallout, and I felt that throughout the whole costume. I know I pointed out, I was like, yeah, less lights kind of works. Yeah. After seeing Stevens and how well he utilized the lights, I kind of retract my statement.
What did you think, Christian, of Josh?
I do agree that, he didn't quite step up to the lighting challenge as much as I'd like to see. He could have utilized more light on that suit. But Josh did an overall great job. It was a very well-fitted costume. Take that to a jazzercise class or something. You could just move and do whatever and do backflips in it.
I'd be lying if I didn't say I wasn't nervous.
We wanted to make this a hard decision.
I think we did.
We got it? All
Yeah,
right,
we do.
we know. Let's bring them back in and tell them our decision. Okay?
I'm ready.
Yep. Cosplayers, you have all reached the last level of Cosplay Melee. Unfortunately, for two of you, it's about to be game over. Because only one player can beat the game and take home the $10,000 prize. Tonight, our winner is Steven.
Good job, man.
Steven, congratulations.
I'm so happy. I can't believe that all this hard work paid off. I'm the Cosplay Melee champion.
Now we have to say goodbye to Josh and Becca. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you, guys.
So great.
Great work.
Steven, how do you feel? You just won Cosplay Melee Video Game Edition.
I feel tired, but I'm not tired right now. I feel great.
Awesome. I have to say from the very beginning, your kindness and your humility shone through. A lot of times people that are as brilliant as you, they don't have that kindness left in them, and you still have it in you, and I think that's amazing.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So what will you do with all your winnings?
I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my family for a well-deserved vacation.
Oh, I love it, Steven. That's amazing.
It is extremely hard spending time away from my family, especially when I'm out at conventions and spending a lot of time in the shop for many, many hours through lots of months. Cosplay is something that I love, and I know that my family understand that. But this is my way to pay them back because they deserve it.